Ohana.
Welcome to Ohana, where we'll have the first game of this best of 3 series. Starting in the bottom right, we have from Team FXO. It is Lowely, also called Anton Plambonovich in real life, the Belarusian Zerg player who placed very well in WCS Europe, as well as winning the combined regionals. Over in the top left, we have formerly from Team Slayers, now teamless for now, until he seeks and joins a foreign team. It is Alicia. Now, Alicia is, it's kind of hard to say because Alicia is this guy that's been placed second in a lot of foreign tournaments, but still has no hype train behind him. Remember how hyped it was when Rinky would go into the finals? And everyone would be like, will this be the time he wins gold? There's still no hype for Alicia. And I feel like it's really time that people start recognizing his talent.
That's right. And we're going to see what he does here. I do want to mention very quickly that he actually missed a chrono boost. The first chrono boost that was supposed to go up, he didn't actually put that on, and he was probably about 10 seconds late to that. Or, no, about 15 seconds late to that, now that I think 15 in-game seconds. So that might be a little bit of a problem, but thankfully his scout actually sees, oh, you're going a 10 pull? What is going on? Lowely also known for, you know, mixing up a little bit and making sure that he can get his expansion down. One thing when you're teching really radically off of 2 base, you need to make sure that hatchery goes down, and you can do that by just getting the 10 pull and making sure that, you know, you can't really pylon block for too long.
Yeah, the pylon block, pretty annoying, but Alicia looks like he's not going to be too greedy with that. In fact, he's not greedy at all at dropping a Forge a lot earlier than his Nexus. A lot of Protosses feel very comfortable dropping a Nexus even after pylon scouting. You know, when you scout very early on, see what Zerg's up to. But in this case, Lowely is kind of hard to predict. Alicia has Lowely's track record, Alicia playing him last time. And Alicia steamrolled. It was just one of those cases where Alicia played very patient. Lowely played very tech-heavy, didn't get a strong econ up, and Alicia just out-macroed him and just destroyed him with Colossus Stalker.
That's right. And it's really, it was really, I want to say, an easy series for him, because I don't feel like Alicia played anything too special, and that tells me that, you know, obviously his standard play is just good enough. He can just receive his opponent, and whatever he actually sends at him, he'll be able to counter it pretty nicely. So I feel like Lowely does need a trick up his sleeves, because if he actually plays this standard just like last season, he will be sort of behind, especially with Alicia's recent success with getting, you know, back-to-back second places, not only NASL but MLG. I feel like Alicia is the person that has the overall advantage going into endgame, and that's why we have to watch how Lowely actually progresses on through this game.
Well, Lowely is getting up gas around 4 minutes, a lot earlier than Zergs are normally used to, but you can squeeze out speed with that and see how things go. Although one time when we did see this build, it was also a Baneling bust on Cloud Kingdom, which didn't end so well for the Zerg player. Well, let's see what Lowely chooses to do. I can't ever say what Lowely plans, because he's a guy that loves to study his opponent and then try to take advantage of that. So what do you think Lowely is up to, Andre, by this early guess?
I think this is really just preventative all-ins. He will be droning up from here on out, and as you can see in the production tab, he's getting more drones. A lot of times how you defend against early pressures, you get really fast metabolic boost, and that has to really come into play against, you know, 4-gate. 4-gate pressure, which is super prevalent on this map, but we're not really seeing that just yet. You can see +1 hasn't been started, so it really doesn't tell me that Alicia is going to be starting any sort of early game pressure. Not only that, chrono boosts have been used only on probes. So we're going to see, you know, Alicia take kind of the back road, not really go for something super, you know, super fast. And there it is, a Stargate gets placed. So he's going kind of like the passive-aggressive route. He wants to put pressure on his opponent, but he can also either tech up or go for some economy behind that.
Yeah, you know, Stargate play is it's just like a general thing that you still want to control the map, but you know you're not going to do game-killing damage compared to if you drop a quick robo, get Immortals out, and, you know, push from that point on. That's very popular on Ohana, but Stargate play is actually still very viable. A lot of Korean Protosses still love doing it. Now, it's interesting because he's quad gassing super quick as well, so Alicia really wants to be able to get resources this quick out, but he's not even really squeezing out an early upgrade on his ground. What do you think he's going to do with all his gas, Andre?
Most likely just save it up for some sort of, oh wow, Baneling nest going down here. You know, it could be Zergling Baneling drop similar to what we see in let's say, Damaga's games. But I thought for sure it was going to be something like Infestors. Really, really fast Infestors. And it still could be Infestors. Zergling Baneling is actually the only way you can actually effectively defend against 8 Gateway, which is not too common, but it is a build that you have to account for. You need to be able to clean up those Zealots pretty fast just to get to the Stalker army, or else, you know, because Zerglings just aren't going to be enough. So maybe placing that Baneling just to defend against that, but might not actually use that. And there it is, the Infestation Pit gets placed down. So Lowely just doing preventative measures so he doesn't die to any all-ins. I like what we're seeing so far, but the first Void Ray is out. Let's see if he can actually deny this third base, because I feel like Void Ray Phoenix is great at denying these really, really fast, or excuse me, these really slow hatcheries where you don't have a lot of mobile anti-air.
Lowely making a Spore a little bit farther out, trying to extend his creep, bringing over 2 Queens, which should be enough to deal with the Void Ray. But the problem is the Phoenix that will be coming in, although Alicia's taking the Phoenix on the opposite side of the map, so the Void Ray really won't have assistance and support there. Alicia perhaps baiting, so that way he can use his Phoenix to get some scouting information. That we can see that Pathogen Glands as well as +1/+1 going to finish up for Lowely, so he's going to go for Infestor's Zergling. But this is a great response out of Alicia. I don't know if he's necessarily responding to his opponent, though. Getting Colossus against Infestor Zergling is just so powerful.
Oh, yeah. And there we go. 2 Phoenixes are there, so it's going to help in picking both of them up. He's going to focus one of them down. I think he actually needs to focus pick up the other one, because he can easily just transfuse. There it is, very nicely done. And Lowely was a little bit late to actually transfuse there, which is a big problem. Now a single Spore Crawler needs to actually plant, but it's not going to. Where are the additional Queens being sent? There they are, 2 over there. But it might be too late at this point, Frodan. I mean, you can see he could just disable those Queens, not even go for them, but he's going to go for them right now.
Yeah, he can just flip them up, and this is a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And the fact is, this third base is still not safe. There's no real anti-air other than these Queens, and they're going to get picked off. 6 Infestors are still on the way, but as long as you just pick them up and keep dropping them down and able to snipe them, there's nothing really stopping Alicia from being able to still pressure this third base.
The one thing that actually works out for Lowely a little bit here is that he lost the Void Ray charge, so he might have a little bit more time now. A Queen is about to pop here, but his other Queens are really late to the party. I don't think Lowely was really prepared for this, and because of that, he's going to lose his third base, Frodan.
Yeah, the Queen pops out of it, immediately dies. Professor's trying to rush to the scene, but the hatchery does drop anyways. The Fungal and the Void Ray does land, but what does that really matter? They'll catch 4 Phoenixes, which is a nice consolation prize, but still.
That's right.
I mean, Alicia got everything he wanted, and now he's got scouting off too. He's really quick in Infestors. He saw massive Zerglings as well, so he knows what's going on.
Yeah, I think this is still good for Alicia, though. The fact of the matter is, yes, they're a really fast Infestor out, but look at how much energy are in all of them. There's nothing. Maybe a couple infested Terrans, but that's about it. And the fact that you have Colossus already means you can clear up those infested Terrans. You really don't have a lot of meat to your army. Zerglings are great, but 2-2 is just now starting. You can see the damage being done actually prevented Lowely from getting his 2-2. That really empowers the Colossus because they can continuously just mow down every single unit that the Zerg has. And as long as he gets more gateway units, he'll be in a great position to actually fend off anything. I think Alicia just really took control of this game, and now that he has an economic advantage on his opponent, I don't feel like Lowely has a lot of options from here.
No, yeah, I agree, and that's what I was saying. I didn't mean to say Lowely. If that's I was saying Alicia was in a very good position. Colossus against Zergling is just laughably easy, especially with +2 thermal lance. You just one-shot the Zerglings, and it's just actually kind of LOL worthy. Yeah. Or as my producer would say, just laugh sometimes. Hive has started on the way for Lowely, but he's on 3 gases. Would love to probably take a 4th base, especially when you see Protoss taking a 3rd base. The Zerg generally takes that notion to expand, get gases 7 and 8, and then have some more flexibility in terms of how you want to transition to Infestor Broodlord. But one thing that's interesting is Lowely's still investing into the Banelings of some sort. He got Baneling Magic, getting Baneling Speed. Doesn't have Overlord Speed or Drop. But late game Banelings aren't necessarily that bad of an option against the Death Ball, especially Sentry based.
No, but 3 Colossus are already out. This is where the main timings actually start to kick in. And if Alicia actually scouted and saw the Hive, he would have immediately actually attacked right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be bold enough to actually attack in right now, But he should say to himself, I have an advantage. Let me go ahead and snowball this on, pressure the 4th base. What he really should focus on is saying, okay, just deny the 4th base, continue my advantage, and then just start massing up additional units. But he can actually just win the game from here.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a quick hive. I don't think he's expecting that.
Yeah, and the corruptor count is just so measly at this point, Frodan. I mean, it won't be able to focus down those Colossus fast enough to the point where, you know, Zerg units would actually have a chance. Especially with Force Field, it's just going to be just so powerful.
Yeah, it's, well, I mean, Alicia's actually been playing this with minimal scouting as well. In fact, he hasn't even scouted the main once despite having 2 observers and a Phoenix out. He's just spotting positionally if there's any army movement whatsoever, covering the 3 main areas which you can see any kind of repositioning from Lowely's army. Now we see Blink and +2 about to finish. Some very critical upgrades. Again, +2 allows the Colossus to basically snipe the Zerglings in one shot, assuming that they have the appropriate armor upgrades. But Lowely's been on top of that as well. He's got 2-2 already.
As long as preemptive Force Fields go down, Alicia's going to be fine.
Oh, Andre, I know how much you love Force Fields.
Oh, gosh, no. And this might not be good.
Gets trapped. And the Banelings aren't even able to get in. They have to go the long way. And Andre, the long way is the hard way. The Colossus gets a good splash in. Lots of the Stalkers take damage, but they seem to blink into a nice position. The Fungal whittling down, and Lowely seems to have held very nicely on the front end, but the back end, the reinforcements are arriving, and the Stalkers blinking forward, Infestor's dying. This is really tough because Alicia is trading a lot of his gas for what costs Lowely even more gas because he's supposed to invest this into the Hive tech, and the Corruptors that drop, the Infestors that drop are just going to sacrifice his late game army.
That's right, but for the most part, Lowely did a pretty good job there. I'm actually really surprised that he was able to kill that much Protoss. I mean, I think Alicia kind of fumbled a little bit with those Force Fields, letting too many units in, but still a great job done by Lowely. Now the 4th base, can he actually defend this? I thought the Zerglings would have actually cleared things up, but it looks like the Protoss force is just too powerful. Blink Micro can never go, underrepresented here, and you can see that the 4th base does in fact get cleaned up. Does Alicia have anything behind this though? Remember, Greater Spire, I believe, is done, but...
Oh, wow. The blinks from Alicia is just... It's not necessarily even have to be that efficient, you just have to make sure to dodge the Balen. The Greater Spire is done, but Lowely doesn't have a lot of time, I guess, to really do anything. The Corruptors aren't able to attack, so they're just going to morph between the 2nd and the 3rd base. While Alicia is laying siege, just has to blink back enough, just a critical mass of stock to the point where Zerglings can't even get strong surface area, and as long as you blink decently enough, Alicia's able to whittle down the numbers, although some of the stock is staying very weak. Alicia is blinking deeper in territory. Broodlord's almost done, Andre, but even if he gets cleaned up, Lowely's already lost so much.
Yeah, but there are a lot of Zerglings that can actually puppy guard these Broodlords. That's what he needs to do. Stop sending them in. Let the Broodlords actually do their work. He can kind of salvage this, but it's still very difficult. And no Zerglings on the ground. He might get aggressively blinked, and there it is. Oh my gosh, losing so many Broodlords, and the Zerglings just weren't there in time. Yes, he'll be able to clean this up, or at least Lowely will be able to clean this up. But just so many Broodlords were suffered there, and that's a big problem. You want to keep your Broodlord count as alive as possible. Now, this will force Alicia to be a little bit more passive, but still, it's to the point where, you know, you need to remake the Broodlord count. You're only on 5 gases because one of your gases actually got delayed over here or killed, and Alicia can just remake really, really quickly, I think.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not. He didn't take the 4th base. I think Alicia kind of mismacroed here. If he actually took the 4th base, I think he would have been in a much better position. But, you know, he's just taking his 4th base now. That's a little bit of a misstep, I think.
I mean, Alicia was trying to do a huge 3-base timing, and I think he was expecting to be able to kill Lowely there, but Lowely held very nicely, and he was double expanding. That's a pretty good option at this stage of the game, just to see where you can establish map presence.
Yep.
Although now he's starting to get War Prisms out with speed. He's going to start doing some mass zealot drops, and I don't think Lowely's really prepared for this because he's trying to engage onto the army. Ooh. Alicia able to section off the remainder of the Zerg forces, and also dropping the 4th base from Lowely. This is a very good job by Alicia.
Absolutely. I mean, these zealots will be able to do a little bit of damage here. Zerglings, you know, just Zerglings are going to come to defend this. But what is so important is this single War Prism is going to put all those Zerglings out of position. And if Alicia uses this correctly, he's actually going to warp into the back here, or even warp into the natural over here, pressure the Greater Spire, pressure the Hive even in the bottom right-hand corner, and then do a combination attack where he actually attacks directly over here after all the units get displaced. But for now, we're just waiting. I think he's just waiting until he situates his 4th base. He wants to make sure he's still on 3-base economy, because that's where Protoss is sort of strongest. And then he can actually proceed on from there. But still no AoE, Frodan. Wow, that's actually really surprising. No Colossus on the field, are there?
There's one on the way. The big thing I like what Lowely's doing right now is focusing on the 4th base only. That's the area he wants to protect. But he's also getting things like flyer carapace, because +3 Stalkers are just so devastating against no armored Broodlords. And they just drop so quickly with the mass that's about in late game. Alicia going for a War Prism drop, a nice catch here by Lowely. He was able to spot it immediately, and Lowely's going to have to, or Alicia is going to have to remake that completely. Although now it's starting to get to the scary point where Alicia is able to get a Mothership, and the biggest fear about getting the Mothership out is, do you have enough time for Zerg to push in? And the question is, this scenario, it's yes, because Lowely's been hoping that he gets time as well.
Yeah, Alicia, I think this is actually the effects of that 4th base being taken so late. You know, Lowely has had a lot of time of passivity to actually make his ultimate death ball. And because the Mothership is so late to the party, we have this point where Protoss is sort of relegated to only doing this type of harass. He's so scared of actually getting fungled and, of course, ultimately just swarmed by free units, Broodlords and Infest Terrans. So I feel like he's just trying to buy time until he gets Mothership out, and with this composition, he's able to do that pretty effectively. But War Prism, wow, being taken out so easily over here. Lowely's on top of his game with just being able to clear out all of these.
Yeah, Lowely controls vision very nicely, using that that Overseer and Corruptor combination to snipe any observers that are straggling. Alicia also just trying to, he's trying to buy time again for his Mothership, but Lowely's vision on the map has been able to really shut down any kind of multi-pronged aggression from Alicia. And I guess Alicia just has to wait till his Mothership gets enough energy for Vortex. Although his Archon count is still at 2, pretty low. Gonna have to start reinvesting into more Archons. But I feel like Alicia still has a very, very nice spot, because Lowely's army is increasingly big, but there's a couple things. Like, he doesn't have the giant Spinecrawler wall. He doesn't have the racking investor energy. He's only got 6 investors. And I feel like those kinds of things take a lot of time, and that's something that's not necessarily favoring Lowely in this play.
Yeah, there's a small little timing window where Lowely can actually have pressure on his opponent when Mothership still is not out, and he's being a little bit too passive with this. Normally when you have this count of Broodlords, you're just going to push in knowing that you're going to be super cost effective. You don't want Protoss to actually building that Archon count, because the Archon count is what really empowers the Mothership. Of course, Archon toilets are so very powerful. So I feel like Lowely should be pressuring up a little bit, but there's no reason for Alicia to be really investing all too much into a huge attack until Mothership is out and Vortex is able to be, used effectively. But here, I think, oh, wow.
The hatchery is saved with 20 hit points.
Yeah.
Although Alicia definitely will send in a couple more Zealots just to snipe it. Lowely has to be very cautious. Neither player really moving out to take a 5th base either. I guess they're really content with like 2.5 base economy at this stage of the game. Lowely increasing his creep to well over Alicia's side of the map, so Alicia has to be very careful with how he steps now, because Infestors can pop in out of nowhere and just fungal when your army gets caught, and then that's lights out for your Sentries and Stalkers. You have nothing really to support your Mothership.
Results will take out the bottom right hatchery, which is always very nice for Alicia. But at this point, I mean, Lowely, he needs to think about actually removing some of his Zerglings, because it's not a terrible amount, but he does want to actually replace that with some air units. Just to take out the Mothership a little bit quicker, take out the Colossus, and then really empower your Broodlords. And he's going to do that right now, sending Zerglings up to the bottom, or excuse me, the top right-hand corner. In the meantime, Alicia is pressuring the main.
But look how many probes are all lining up there. In fact, the Zerglings get a good surround on the Archons. 2 Archons that Lowely does not have to worry about if a Vortex comes. The Bangs are rolling straight into the 3rd base as well. Actually, just kidding. They rolled back. The Zerglings are going to the 3rd base. And Alicia is just not even going back. I guess he's really going to commit to this attack, and Lowely just has to hold, and he'll be in a nice position.
Yeah, really surprising. I'm surprised Alicia didn't do anything about this 4th base. Having that there is just so important, but he does lose a lot of probes. It frees up a little bit of supply, and that can actually make a little bit of difference in this upcoming fight because he'll have a slightly stronger army with that supply. You can see 117 to 120. They're very similar, but there you can see a big warping of units. They're all Stalkers, I believe. Nope, they're High Templars, rather. And these High Templars will be invaluable, of course, because they're going to morph into Archons. Archon's so powerful in these big battles. But we have a lot of Broodlords. Let's look at the units tab. 16 Broodlords out in the field. Lowly, just please spread them out. Don't do a mistake that you might have done in recent games.
Warprism's taken out yet again. Lowly's been really on top of that. He's been able to shut down the harass, able to shut down some of the bases of Protoss. Now all he has to do is hold off against the Protoss force. But this army is just so intimidating. Alicia's army supply is at 130, and the huge chunk of it is in Archons and the Mothership. Basically AoE to just kill anything that lands in the Vortex. Meanwhile, Lowly's been able to accumulate 16 Broodlords and 13 Infestors. That in itself is also very intimidating. But who's going to be able to get the position off? Who will get the fungal or the Vortex?
Oh, and here we go. Starting up, Lowly is going to chase away the Protoss army. Very nice split by these Broodlords, making sure not to die to a single fungal growth. Zergling's wrecking havoc in the top left-hand corner. But they are kind of stuck inside this, unfortunate for him, but I think he could have actually cleaned up all the units over here. Additional Zerglings actually could have helped out, but looks like Lowly is just preparing that ultimate death army. We're seeing probes against drones. They're pretty similar, so both of these players have very, very similar means in terms of army. But I like what we're seeing. Alicia just slowly throwing away his mineral-only army for more gas-intensive. And as long as that Archon count grows and also his Colossus count grows to an extent, he's going to be looking really good for this upcoming battle. Actually, his Colossus count is pretty nice. 4 is the perfect amount, I think. But we should be seeing that big battle pretty soon, Frodan.
Yeah, you know, it's just, I mean, even 3 Colossus, people can make a case for being really good if you basically one-shot your vessel. 4 is just that extra security, especially with how much AoE is spatial-wise. Lowly's going to move up the ramp, which is a very risky situation, considering all the Broodlords are kind of clumping up.
All right, big recall, big recall. Oh no, 5 Stalkers. Oh, these are the Billy of Stalkers, man.
Stalkers are like, what about us? He's like, no, man, you guys got this. We'll see you later. We'll meet up in a different spot.
Oh. And he threw away a ton of Corruptors right there, Frodan. That's a big, big problem. Now Big Vortex is going to go down. Is he going to get this?
It's a split. He is splitting up. Good job from Lowly thus far, but there's enough for Broodlords and Infestors to really protect the rest of it, or is there? The Stalkers are blinking up leftwards, but the Fungals are really latching on the army. The Broodlords are trying to flank from the right side as well. This is an awesome engagement for Lowly, able to really dodge the Vortex. Look at the eruption of the Vortex. No Broodlords have died, although Alicia's been able to really pick off the Broodlord count. Doesn't really matter too much because Lowly is able to preserve the units that count.
Wow, very nicely done by Lowly. The split is so important in that last battle. Not letting the Archons get inside of the Vortex was so pivotal because he actually saved like 4 or 5 Broodlords in there. On top of that, there was an attack over here on the right-hand side, and it forced a lot of Warp-ins. And those Warp-ins could have actually been better used to defend against these Broodlords and really solidify his position over here in the middle left-hand position. But now it's going to be really, really tough. Still, don't count Alicia out of it just yet. Yes, it looks really, really bad for him, but the fact of the matter is Alicia has no mining bases. You can see he's actually long-distance mining from this mid-left side, and then this mid-right side is actually being mined this whole time. So if Alicia can get a good battle, which maybe he can't even get, actually, now that I look at it.
He has no real answers to the Broodlords other than his Stalkers. The Archons will not be able to get there as long as the Fungals are there.
I agree.
And Lowly still has his Spinecrawler wall. Lowly's still doing this all the right ways. Still has enough resources. Alicia coming with a very aggressive blink. He knows time is not in his side. GG, and the first game of this best 3 goes to Lowly from FXO.
That's really impressive,
Andre,
man.
we were talking about how Lowly has what it takes to win games. It's just that does he have enough to win the series? But I'm just glad that Lowly has shown again that he can compete with top talent.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised. Alicia was so far ahead. After killing a third base, a Zerg's third base with Stargate play, you're pretty much saying I have this game won. I have to just macro up to 3 bases, make sure to get a huge gateway count, and then just win the game. I think Alicia was kind of startled that Lowely was able to deal with that 3-base all-in pretty easily. And he wasn't even preparing to get a 4th base because he said, I won the game.
Yeah.
That's what normal protests actually stay in those positions. But force field problems and a good flank coming from 2 different sides actually enabled Lowely to really stay alive. Yes, he loses the 4th base, but barely holding on, getting that broodlord count when you're not near Mothership is a big, big bonus. And Lowely was able to just get an unstoppable army.
I agree, and I think the Baneling style kind of to defend was really cool from Lowely, as he was able to get enough explosions just barely to hold on and crush Alicia's army, holding out for the inevitable Broodlord Infestor Clash. Guys, that game number 1 was brought to you by Audible.com. If you want to download a bestseller, go to nasl.tv/p/audible for a limited time offer. Check that out while we take a commercial break and find out if Lowely can upset Alicia. The answer is after this.